Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
How are
morning.
you? I'd love to hear your voices. Let me see your faces if you can share your screen or share your video. Hi, Danae.
I like your hair today, Eva.
Thank you. I got up extra early today so I can get fancy just for you guys. Trust me, I want to be in sweats with my hair up in a bun. Thank you so much for joining me. I don't know if you guys saw that we posted it be basically the last foundational coaching for the rest of the year because of the holidays. We have actually been taking a look at a lot of other classes and we're going to put them on the schedule. That would be helpful. We just won't have our 9 a.m. Meeting for the next 2 weeks. So that being said, we kind of were talking yesterday and just wanted to reach out to everybody, kind of get some, and I know everybody's at a different stage. You know, some have been in this program for a few months, some are very brand new, so you may have different feedback or insight, but we're hoping to just kind of talk to you about what you've enjoyed so far, some classes that we absolutely want to get onto the schedule for January, what you think would be helpful. You know, of course, talk about the numbers, see what's working for people, and just, you know, end the year strong, but also start really even stronger. So any kind of feedback that you can give would be helpful. We'll go over that in a second, but just kind of keep that top of mind. We want to be really diligent about bringing you classes that you want to see and having them in the market center. That way you're not, you know, always having to go outside for other additional training, which it can be helpful. RE Colorado, of course, there's some people today that are taking a class there is always helpful on top of what we're bringing, but we just really want to start the year strong and bring any classes that you all want to see. So that being said, I think maybe I'll go ahead and I was going to wait a couple minutes to see if anyone else logs on, but I'm going to pull up the numbers from the previous week. Just a second. And I'm super happy because as I was doing this, I saw a lot more people submitted their numbers this last couple of weeks than the previous week. So I think it's helpful that we're actually looking at them and seeing what's working for everybody and just kind of going over.
Have any numbers?
Well, you should have numbers.
What does that mean?
So we send out a weekly email where you're submitting how many contacts you're making, if you're setting any appointments, how many agreements that you have signed, any under contracts, any closings. So even if you have zeros across the board for closings and under contracts, that's fine, but we want to look directly at what the appointments that you're setting and how much lead gen you're doing a day, because if you're doing a consistent amount of lead gen and you're actually making the calls and setting the appointments, eventually you should get to the point where you are having agreements. You are getting deals under contract. So if we're going in and you're saying, you know, I've set 0 appointments, that's okay, but how many calls did you make that week? Did you make 100 calls that week? Did you make 20 calls that week? So then it kind of, the numbers, the way the form works is depending on how many appointments you set, it kind of will take you to the next level. Okay, well then how much lead gen did you do? So as you're going through the form, it's just collecting that data, and you get that email every week. So even if it's zeros, we want to see you putting it into your spreadsheet, because then it's also going to make you more aware of what the activities that you need to be doing daily. And we absolutely doesn't have to be closings and under contracts every single week. That's not realistic. Not even in, you know, somebody's business who's been doing this for a while, but at least we want to see that you're lead genning and that you're setting appointments, because without appointments, you're not getting, you know, the other side of it. So yeah, we definitely have a lot more interaction with the graph here. Is anybody, let me kind of look back to who we have in the activities that you all are doing. So Looks like Mario had a closing. Congratulations. Nisha had a closing. And I want to see under contracts, but for some reason it's way over here. I have to have Stephen help me with this spreadsheet. But to me, most importantly, is going to be the number of appointments that you all are setting. And there's a lot more activity here than we've seen in previous weeks. So I definitely appreciate, you guys submitting your number. Eric, are you on the call? Let me pull up the gallery view so I can see if it'll show me everybody while I'm looking. Oh, Eric is on the call. Is your mic working this week?
In the chat, it says he's at a doctor's appointment in case he doesn't answer.
Oh, okay. All right. Multitasking. I can't do that very well, but let's see. Oakley says that you set an appointment. Would you mind sharing with us how you were able to set the appointment?
Yeah, sure. I mean, again, it was, what was it, a week ago where we kind of redefined what an appointment meant, So it really was just a conversation about real estate with one of my old coworkers. She had expressed interest in first-time home buying next year. So it was just kind of a basic conversation of what are you looking for, just kind of basic stuff. So it went well. Yeah, she's not in any rush right now, so I'm trying to kind of get her to at least go talk with a lender. So.
Yeah. All right. Wonderful. Is there any information that you're going to provide to her? What do you plan to do to stay in touch with her over the next couple of months?
Well, I'm going to send her like a first-time homebuyers guide as well, just to kind of look over, and then start sending her some just market updates, just kind of do like a neighborhood nurture kind of thing and send it specifically to what she's looking for. She's looking to move into like the Inglewood area. So I already kind of have an area where she's interested in. So yeah, we'll see.
Awesome. Nice. Yeah, I would definitely get her on, the neighborhood nurture since you know where she'd like to move. That way you can send her a bi-weekly neighborhood update on that specific neighborhood. That's a smart plan that's in command. The other one that I like to send out for first-time home buyers, if you go and search the library, it says buyer education smart plan.
Okay.
And all you have to do is download it to your library, put the client on that smart plan, and it's super nice. I sent it to myself. I always recommend you guys sending these smart plans to yourself so you can see what they do. But every single day, I think it was maybe every day for a few weeks, it sends you a different bit of information about the home buying process.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually a really helpful tool. And then it's great for somebody that's not thinking about buying right now, but it just will stay in front of them and show them like different bits of information on home buying. So that's a helpful one. And it helps that that the neighborhood that she wants to move to. So those are two that I would recommend setting her up on, and then just kind of putting a task list for you to follow up and see how she's doing. You don't see 3 months down the line, hey, I'm under contract. That's happened to me before when I didn't follow up, and they get on like Zillow or get on somewhere, start looking at homes, and then before you know it, they're under contract and they don't even realize what happened. So follow up is key.
Cool, definitely. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, let's see. Chris Reyes, are you able to share how you got your appointments? I think you're on mute.
Yes. So it's basically for reaching out to ex-coworkers. So I know they told me that they were looking into the home buying process. So I basically reached out to them and I talked to them and I met up with them, and yeah, surely enough, they wanted to buy something, and this lady was all cash. So we were looking at some trailer in Fort Lumpton. Like everything happened fast, but at the end, I guess she looked at, when we went to go see the property, it was really in bad shape. Mm-hmm. And that kind of discouraged her from buying it and go through the process. but it was just so close. It was just like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, meet up with her, and then next day, hey, let's go see some properties, and it was good.
Awesome, congratulations. So did she put a pause on what she's doing because of the first property, or are you guys still planning to go
Yeah,
out and
so
look?
now I guess we're into looking into the market again. So I need
Okay.
that's what I need to do today. Look at some properties and her price range, and then submit them to her.
Awesome. One thing that I would recommend for that is if you have somebody that's also on the fence, but you kind of have her guidelines and you know what she'd like to purchase, is setting her up on an auto email. That way you don't even have to think about it. If you go in RE Colorado, the MLS,
Yeah.
you can set up an auto search, and I always send them, even if it's something that they've said like, hey, I specifically want to see this. If I have ideas of homes or areas that I think may work, I still will send them that. I'll set them up on probably 3 different auto searches. That way they receive every single new property as soon as it hits the market, because
Okay.
if we're not consistently looking, we may not be, they'll get that email pretty quickly and it'll show you in your RE Colorado if they're looking at it, if they're trashing them, if they're hearting them. But then it's just a way that, we'll always keep that search top of mind for your client.
Okay, nice.
All right.
Definitely do that.
Sharing. Chris, you're on fire. Do you want to share with us, buddy, what you've been up to?
So 2 of those were just current client showings, and then the third one was a cold call that I'd rather not discuss. That was just a flat out cold call that I made, and we went on a listing prezo together, and we would have had a listing if I would have brought the agreement, most likely.
Oh, yep, that's the one that we talked about last week. We just hadn't put it in the numbers yet. Yeah, we're still working on that. We're going to get it. We'll keep you all updated as soon as we land it. Again, the key is in the follow-up. So we sent, actually after the listing presentation, I have a stack of cards. So send a handwritten card. I put her on HomeBot. We put her on HomeBot. I don't know if any of you have HomeBot. It's about $25 a month, I believe. And it's a really good tool. I have all of my clients that I know own homes, and even if they're renters, I have them on here. It's just a really neat, and we have a script that I can share with you all. I'm not sure if you're, open to taking under a new expense, but I think this has been one of my most helpful tools, and it's $25 a month. So every single person, and it has, here it'll show me how many that I sent last month. It has a 65% open rate. And if you're having a conversation with them prior to sending it, you're probably going to get a lot higher of an open rate there. I just kind of did a mass upload and sent the email out. But Art's my coach. We were discussing last week on a script that would be helpful when we're sending this out. And I have it posted here. And it's just like, hey, Chris, it's Eva. How are you? Hey, listen, I don't want to take too much of your time. I have a tool that I've been sending out. It's an unbelievable tool. I've sent it to a lot of my clients and have been getting great reviews. With this tool, it gives you the value of your home. More importantly, it establishes your equity position, and it will suggest ways to increase the equity more rapidly. Last, it gives you strategies for investing your equity to create wealth or increase your quality of life. I'm going to send that to you now if that's okay. I want to follow up with you in a couple of days to see what you think. That way you're preparing them to get that link. They take a look at it. Everybody that I've sent this to loves HomeBot. So I would recommend, this is just an added tool to go ahead and get people interacting. But it's been really great. And I'm going to kind of reach out to the people that I've sent this to because, even with the 65% open rate, that's a pretty decent open rate. But the people that I don't have, that haven't taken a look at it, I'm going to reach out with this script to make sure that they're looking at it. And it is really cool. Like, it's super interactive. One thing that Art did say, I initially only put like homeowners that I knew or that clients maybe that I've helped. But he said to go ahead and set your database up, even if they're renting, because then they can see like what their landlord owes on the property. They can see, how much basically they're paying in rent versus the loan on it. They can get an idea like, okay, well, I am really making somebody else a lot of money, and then it'll help get them into the mindset of home ownership. So even if it's a tenant, you can set them up on their address and it'll show them the homeowner's information. So this is nice because it'll also show me like which of my clients are taking a look at the properties info that I'm sending out. And then see, this one here would probably be somebody I should probably reach out to soon, because it's saying he viewed his report that I sent him last week 5 times now. He updated his buyer profile. He started the buyer onboarding, and this is the first that I'm even seeing it. So I know today, like, hey, I'm going to get on the phone with him and see what's going on that's making him look at his value that much, and probably thinking about rebuying if he's suing. So it's just super helpful, and it gives you all of the insight into what your clients are doing. That is HomeBot, $25 a month, and it's a really helpful tool. I don't know if you guys care to see kind of what the digest looks like when they receive it. It'll have, you'll put your information in there. It talks to your client. It has tips on how to save money. It shows them what and I haven't, when I send this out, I make sure to send a video with it to say, this is an estimated value. We don't know without actually looking at your property what the value is worth, but it's just to kind of give you an idea. But if you do want, a more accurate CMA, let me know and I'll go ahead and tune your value. It'll show them what their mortgage is, the balance. Like it's just a really great tool. Let's see. It'll show their net worth. And this was somebody I just added yesterday from the post that I did about that listing. So if you guys, I've actually had a ton of interaction on that listing. If you guys want to share it and just get your database into the mindset of house hack, I think a lot of people were interested in that. And I've had probably more interaction on that post than any other. There's also duplexes that we can find in the MLS. That way it's not just specifically my listing, but it's just a way to kind of open the conversation of what a house hack is. And that's essentially, it means you can rent out one side or one of the other homes, the other side of the duplex, and the lender will use that income to qualify you. So if I had a client who was qualified for a $300,000 townhome, they're going to end up paying, $2,000 a month in mortgage. Well, we had the conversation with one of my clients that happened to. We looked at a duplex. So with the rental income, the lender qualified her up to $575,000, and she was able to purchase a duplex, which the tenant is now paying for more than half her mortgage. And she owns 2 properties now, or 2 doors now, for half the cost than she would have owned a townhome for. So it's a really interesting conversation to have. And most people don't even realize that you can use that rental income to help you qualify for the entire property. So if you all want to share that, feel free to do it. It's been great conversations. People are asking me like, what's a house hack? I have clients that have already, this one I just sent her, the HomeBot is showing her now she has $238,000 worth of equity, and she's likely going to invest, even if it's not in that listing. I'll probably find her a duplex to invest into. So just be aware of these conversations that you can have, and it's just a way to kind of get in front of. If you ever see our listings, definitely share them and try to provoke conversation within your database. And be strategic, because the reason I didn't put the address and I didn't put the list price on my ad is because I want them to reach out to me. I want to be able to control the conversation. So when they're asking me, where is it located? Send me the details. I went into their inbox and said, hey, send me your email address and I'll send you the listing. They gave me their email. I asked like, hey, are you looking to invest? Are you planning to move? Because I want to know like what the motivation is. And then as soon as I sent them the link through MLS with the listing, I wrote them back and said, hey, I just sent you the listing. Let me know what you think. Are you planning to make a move? Again, just ways of having a conversation, a deeper conversation than me just posting, hey, I have a listing. It's $500,000. Here's the address, giving them everything they need. I'd much rather keep that information and be able to set an appointment and start a conversation.
So House Hack is in this platform, or is that a separate platform?
No, that's just something that we've learned. I learned that from Art, so I want to share it with you all. But yeah, I'd been in this business, 4 years before I even heard anything about a house hack, and it was from being an arts coaching program. And he's really big into, rental investing, multifamily investing. So we started having that conversation. And I want to make sure that you all know that it's something, and we can give you more details about it. But this just shows them, gets them into the mindset like, hey, you may be able to refinance. It gives them tips on how to pay their mortgage off faster. You could purchase a new home with your equity for up to this price, buy an investment property. It's nice because they can just look at this for their personal situation and kind of get ideas of how they can invest. I have my lender connected because if they decide they want to submit, they can do it directly to the lender, one of them that I work with. But if you rent it on an Airbnb, like this just puts a lot of information into the homeowner's mind that maybe they never thought about. So it's definitely a helpful tool if you all want to purchase home bought. I use it a lot, so I always recommend it. I just don't like to, I know that everybody's in the new stages and maybe you don't want to, have to have all of these monthly fees, but it's a really helpful tool. So I had that up there. I'll upload the script that we're using. If you guys do decide to download that, definitely let me know because I want to know how it's working if you decide to use it and what kind of results that you're seeing. I don't think Sway's on the call today. Shelly says you set 2 appointments. Do you want to share with us how you set those?
They were friends of my husband at work, and one has some parents that want to buy soon, and it sounds like they're kind of waiting for the new year. Everybody's waiting for the new year.
Mm-hmm.
And then another gentleman is going to be ready after the new year too, but I kind of have an idea of what he likes. But I liked the suggestions you just gave us on the smart plans, on sending them on how to make sure they're, educated on getting their loan and everything before, because pre-qualified is way better to start off with and start showing homes with than someone who doesn't know what they can afford.
Yep, absolutely. Get them the minute that they say, hey, I'm thinking about buying, add them into your command, add them to an opportunity. If they're planning to buy within the next, year, even 18 months, you absolutely want to have them in your opportunities because you can keep an eye on them, start sending them smart plans. And opportunity just means that, that's somebody that you spoke with, they expressed interest in buying or selling, and now you can keep track. And it's nice because it'll say, potentially this opportunity is worth $10,000 or whatever it is, but it helps you be mindful of what's in your pipeline and just be aware of, okay, I need to keep in touch with them. This is the stage we're at, and move them along through the process. So yep, definitely do the opportunities and the smart plans and just kind of keep in touch. And it does sound like a lot of people are waiting for the first of the year. So that's, objections that we're hearing. I just want to encourage you all to, it's always going to be at their own pace, but let them know that, hey, a lot of people are waiting for that time. So that means you're going to have a lot more competition. It is still really competitive right now. So normally during the holidays, this would be my favorite time to get a good deal for my clients, but we are realistically still very competitive, and it's probably going to get even more competitive in January and February. So if they're ready to buy, I would encourage them to, at least start looking and set them up on a MLS search. So even if they said 2 months, they can just start seeing the houses as they come on. I always say, hey, I know you're not looking right now. I always push them along in my own way. I just say, hey, I know you're not looking right now, or you don't want to get out and look right now, but I'm going to start sending you listings so you can keep an eye on the market. And if anything catches your eye, let me know. So definitely smart plans, set them up on searches, just, multiple ways to make sure that we're staying in front of our database. Hey, Cheryl, I didn't mean to skip over you. Do you want to share with us how you set the appointment that you have?
Sure. We talked about it a little bit last week because she contacted me during our coaching, but she's a longtime friend. I've known her since kindergarten, and she's ready to buy. She's been dreaming of buying a home for a while, and she's ready. So I had a presentation with her on Saturday, virtual, and we just talked more about what she's looking for, where she's at. I told her about Keller Mortgage and Chaffa. And she says her timeline is she would like to be qualified or approved by a lender in March. And I think that might be she's looking to save a little bit more before, but I did tell her about the down payment assistance. And I ended up sending her a email with like links to all this information. And I also set her up on RE Colorado to send out those, I think I set it to daily in her area that she's looking, which is Lafayette.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I'm glad that went well. Thank you so much for sharing. And that's great that you've already kind of set her up on the search and, she could be mindful of what's coming onto market. So that's great.
Yeah, and after you mentioned the smart plans, I'm going to look into that and get her set up on those too.
Yeah, those are really good ones, especially if you know what area that they want to. And that's probably a question that we even if we don't know, let's ask it. Hey, what ideally, where would you want to live? And then that way you can set up those neighborhoods under her contact, get her the monthly, either the biweekly or the monthly neighborhood nurture so they can keep an eye on those neighborhoods, but also sending her the listing as they become available. And the buyer education is a super helpful one. And it's really good for us too, if we've never been through the process, because then you can see as they come in, okay, this is what to expect for this part of the process. This is what to expect, because realistically, if you're not, even if you've, bought a home in the past, if you've never taken somebody all the way through the process, you really have no idea what to expect. So it's a really helpful tool.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't see Amy on here. Eric, are you able to share? Are you on the call with us yet?
Is Eric Barrios?
Yeah, there's two Erics. Go ahead, both of you.
Oh, okay. Well, I had one last week. It was a care call. So a friend mentioned that her friend was looking, so that's how I got that one.
Nice. How did the care call go? You were just reaching out, checking in?
Yeah, I'm just reaching out, checking in. Didn't mention real estate whatsoever. She just happened to ask how work was going, and that's when she remembered, and she was like, "Oh, hey, by the way, I have a friend that's looking to buy," and yeah, she basically just sent me her contact info. I reached out, and now we're looking over in Peyton, Colorado, actually.
Awesome. Congratulations. And it's crazy. We say that time and time again, but that's the way it works. If we call in and check on them and we ask them how work's going, 9 times out of 10, they're going to ask us about work. So it just makes the conversation a lot easier. So thank you so much for sharing. Eric Ariola, Eric number 2.
Hey, good morning, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, yeah, other than my malfunction last week, I'm glad it's finally up. So, but, just kind of like share what I've been going through. I did just recently, close on my first deal, and that kind of just like started a wildfire for basically my spear. So, I made a very small post last week just saying, hey, thank you everybody that shared, my listing, and thank you everybody that's reached out to me so far about buying their first home. And then like literally like not even like 3-4 minutes later, I had a friend contact me. He's like, hey, Eric, I'd be really interested in buying a first home. And I would like to go through you to get that first home. And then that was win number 1. And then, then like not even 30 minutes later, I had another friend, same situation. He just hit me up. He saw, how active I've been on social media, and, I've been trying to comment more and, be more involved with my Facebook and my spear. And, it's finally coming together. Like right now, I'm just starting off with my friends, and, I actually have an appointment with him on Saturday to actually do, to do the buyer agreement, just to present it properly to him as well. And then on Sunday, this is another situation. I actually got a haircut like a couple weeks ago. And one of the barbers, my barber's been cutting my hair for 13 years. So he's been around shops for like maybe 2-3. He finally owns his own one. And then he actually has a barber that he used to work with that I knew. And, the conversation started up about, how he wanted to buy a house too as well. And then, I've been in touch with him now as well too, to possibly, get him under a buyer agency agreement as well. He's going to need a little bit more work. He needs like a little bit more help, like finding somebody that can help him with this credit repair. But I mean, he's very motivated, and he's definitely showed me, a lot of interest in working with him and putting in that effort. But it might be something that might not happen till 6 months from now, 8 months from now. But I mean, I need to make sure that I secure, all the work that I'm doing right now, that, just doesn't go to waste. And, but yeah, those are just a couple of the wins that I've been getting lately.
Awesome. That's really good to hear. And that's, another key point is we definitely don't want to be a secret agent. I don't know how you all feel about social media, but the reason I share every listing or every, closing, any opportunity that I can to post. It's not because I want to, oh, hey, look at me, I had another closing. It's because every single time I post something, whether it's an under contract, a closing, a showing, like I've posted just when I'm out and about showing, I will get somebody, that'll reach out and say, hey, I want more information on the process, or hey, could you send me some additional information? And it's honestly every single time that I post, I get at least one or two inquiries about not, they're very specific, like my closing ones or the just listed, but just stay active. If you don't have listings, I want to tell you, time and time again, just make sure that you're sharing. Check with people in the office. There's 300 agents in the office. Like, hey, if they post something, can I share your listing? I'm always going to say yes. Jeff's always going to say yes, and that's just a way to keep you all in front of your database as well. So don't be shy. There are some great posts, we talked about it. There's real estate related stuff that you can post, but also make sure that they see you working, not just, posting about the funny memes or anything, other things like that are out there, but show them that you're also working, even if you don't have any active clients, any active listings. There's, a ton of different ways to show people that you're in the industry and just stay top of mind. Jessica, are you able to share with us how you set your 2 appointments?
Yes. Hi. Good morning. I set my 2 appointments with clients. One was she wants to, or I guess how to set them. You mean like on command, or just how I did it in general?
Yeah. How did you meet them, or how did you, who was it?
Okay, so one was a referral. She goes by Miss B. Her name's Bertha. It was a referral from a client that I'm already helping right now, who's an investor. She wants to move here from New Mexico. So I had set up an appointment with her just to kind of see, what she was looking for, like how many bedrooms, how many baths, kind of what area that she likes. The other one was through a friend that I've worked with in the past. Her dad's looking for a house. And so she reached out to me when I posted something on Facebook earlier in the week about rent versus buying. And so she sent her dad my way, and then I set up an appointment with him and got him in touch with my lender.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. So I know we've heard, a lot of stories about things we're posting, or, people seeing us on social media. Would you say that other than what you're posting, are you actively reaching out to people as well? Like, are you doing the calls and lead genning, or are you kind of just keeping it on social media right now?
I've been keeping it on social media. I think I've just been trying to be more active on reaching out to like my database, what I have now, like people, keeping the communication line open and seeing how they're doing. And not just because there's a few people that I know have been interested, but their credit score, they've ran their credit score and it's just not where it's at right now, so they have to wait. So I've just, I guess, been kind of keeping in touch with those people. I haven't yet gotten down to business. I need to still do the role playing and the, what is it called, the things that you use for scripts. Scripts. I haven't used those yet. It's something that I want to start here soon so I can start practicing.
Awesome. I don't know if you all noticed, but we did add a role play to the schedule Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We hopped on Monday for 30 minutes, and there was about 5 or 6 of us that showed up. I just wanted to be sure to add it. We didn't really have any structure behind it because I'm trying to get everyone into the mindset of like, hey, let's script practice early in the morning. So we didn't get on yesterday. I didn't see that anybody hopped on, but definitely Friday we're going to be on there. I'm going to send out a script that we can practice, but I also want to encourage you all when after we get off of the group to find your partner, because then you should be able to start practicing with them on the days that we're not doing it. And it could just be simple conversations, going over objection handlers. You can structure it the way that you want to. I was just hoping to set that on the calendar so that way we can kind of get an idea of times that we can do it, just kind of brainstorm around objections and script practice. But I think it's important to hear from each other, because then we can see, okay, so what are some of the objections that we're hearing? What are ideas that are working? And it's just going to help us, get better at having those conversations. So next week we will, I'll have to look at it. I don't I don't know what it's going to look like with the holidays coming up. I think, I don't even know when Christmas is, y'all. So I'm going to have to look at it. I've been so busy. I'm like, I don't know what day Christmas is, but we should be okay. If I don't have it on the schedule, it'll at least be on there a couple times. But that was another thing I wanted to talk to you about. Every Sunday, I spend a couple hours putting together the schedule. So I want to encourage you all, like on Monday, take a look at it, look at your schedule for the week, take a look at what's on there. Because if ever, this past Tuesday, we canceled the coaching and I added it to the schedule. And I know everyone's busy, we're all busy, but just know that I do every Sunday. I look for trainings, for classes, what announcements we're doing. Like I spend a lot of time putting that together. So I want to make sure you know that every week it's up in the announcements section. It's going to be updated by Sunday, likely before 2. That way you guys can start planning your schedule Sunday evening, Monday morning, but just kind of take a look and get an idea of what's available for the upcoming week and make time for as much as you can. And it's a pretty detailed schedule. It's more like, hey, if this is your full-time thing and you don't have any idea of what you should be doing, I just put together like, then make some care calls, do these, assignments. It's just to kind of give you guys structure behind what activities that you can be doing. And I know I mentioned before, my first 2 years, I started with a small brokerage. I had no idea on a daily basis what I should be doing. I just got up, hey, I'm a real estate agent. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to go out and find business. I'm hoping that it's helpful for you to kind of see a schedule. Like this is something I need to commit 8 hours a day to in the beginning in order to get your ball rolling. That way it doesn't take as long as it does for other people and other companies that don't have this type of support or these type of schedules. So it's important that, you take a look at that, plan your week, ahead and know that everything that's on there, like we've looked at, we've set aside, we're looking for other classes for you all and just putting it on there and make time for what you can. There's always a ton of other trainings available as well that are not on that schedule. And if you feel like, hey, I want to take this week instead of this, that's fine. It's your schedule, but it's just kind of a guideline for you for that week.
I appreciate.
Oh, go ahead.
I appreciate the schedule to help me develop a routine because that helps a lot. So I do appreciate that. I have one more question too. I'm looking at your spreadsheet, and when you send me the Google Docs, I'm not getting the H column or the I column for how many of hours of lead or how many attempts. I'm getting up to total gross commission. Is that correct, or that's where my list ended?
Yeah, it could be because if you set 1 or 2 appointments, I think it doesn't take you to the next column. So if you're setting like, hey, I didn't set any appointments this week, then it's going to take you to the next set of questions. Well, how many hours of lead gen did you do this week? And it'll ask you the additional questions.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing information for you.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Okay.
And I know, I hope it's helpful for us to hear kind of what's working for each other, but I also want to know that this is an open forum. Like if you feel like you're struggling or if there's something that you need help with, like, let's talk about that too. Because I think it is important, again, to share the wins and collaborate with each other and get ideas of what's working. But I know that, there's still, for every win that we're having, there's still struggles that are being, had equally. So if there's somebody that wants to talk about what we can do for your business or, other ideas, I think it's important. To me, I think, I'm always going to say database sphere. That's going to be number 1, but just know that's not everything that you have to do. You can have, a ton of different ways to grow business. Don't just say, hey, I'm only going to call my database today. If that's, definitely focus on it, but then also figure out, okay, what other strategies am I going to do to lead gen today? If it's just going out and talking to 20 people somehow, I know it's a lot different right now and it's not as easy, but I know, I saw Danae over the weekend went to, she went to a marketplace, set up a booth with her sign and just gave out hot coffee, had conversations that way. That's a different idea to get, cold leads. There's a ton of opportunities to that. Door knock. People are still door knocking. You could just go and introduce yourself to your neighbors. Hey, I'm your local real estate expert. If you ever have any questions, let me know. Give them an item of value. Danae's really good with that. I know. Danae, are you still on the call? I don't see everybody in front of me here. She's given me,
I'm here. Sorry, I'm having trouble with my mute button.
No, you're okay. Do you want to kind of talk about some of the cold idea lead gens that you've been doing recently?
I am not in a position to talk right now. Sorry.
No, you're
Like, I'm
fine.
trying not to cry. Like, I'm having a hard day.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Just seems like everything I'm doing, like, you can do all that stuff, but like, just it takes an emotional toll on you after being rejected so much, you know, like you've got to be really strong. And I think that I'm losing that. The bold training was really good. I just wish they did it like every week, you know. It's like I don't have anybody supporting me. Like Chris has been a rock star. Chris has been my rock. So thanks, Chris, for that. Like I other than that though, like it's tough, you know, when you don't have family supporting you, when you don't have like I just I think that, you know, even in the bold thing, they talk about being and doing and being and doing, and you can't just do because then you feel like do. It's kind of where I'm at right now. Like I've been like dropping off the little snowflake thing, and I've been like, I did my Cherry Creek Market, and that was really hard on me emotionally because it was like 2 days of like, hey, how you guys doing today? Oh, we're good. No, we're good. Like, don't talk to me. We're fucking good. I'm like, okay, wow. I mean, so like it was, you know, it was hard. It was hard to deal with that. And like, you've got to be ready. You've got to be ready to just move past that. And like, even if you do, like, you're like, okay, you know, it's a numbers game. Just next, I'm trying to talk to as many people as I possibly can. I'm just knocking on doors. Naturally, you're going to have people to tell you to F off. And you've just got to be able to, you know, just keep going and looking past that. But like it wears on you. It really does. And I'm trying to figure out a way to overcome that right now. And so that's where I'm at. Like I've already had, you know, I'm going to go to my second listing appointment this weekend, but I feel like it's, I'm up against people who are like, well, yeah, I dealt craps with, Bob and Joe back in the day, and they, you know, they sell like 2 or 3 houses a day, and you know, they don't even know that I'm getting ready to move. I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Who's the one that made that care call that asked you if you're okay, that you're selling all your belongings? How do you know that those guys who are going to sell 2 and 3 houses a day, they don't have time to spend with you? Here I am spending time with you, caring about you personally. I mean, do you just want, you know, do you just want anybody, Joe Blow, to sell your house? Like, yeah, you may have been good friends back in the day, but to be able to sell 2 or 3 houses a day, you're going to have a huge team working for you. And, you know,
Danae,
yeah, okay.
I think you just need to keep your head up, Mama. Keep your head up. You're setting those seeds. It's a really tough year for a lot of people. So that's nothing to do with you. That's just a reflection of their own situations and stuff. And it goes on to you. You just keep that good attitude, keep planting those seeds, and you'll be fine. Like, things will come later. Don't take it so personal. I know it's super hard because I take things personal a lot too, but it's been a tough year for a lot of people, and it sounds like you're working your butt off. It's gonna pay off, Mama.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I've been like, this is month number 10 and I have nothing to show for it. And it's like, it's getting really hard, you know, and this is coming from a person who, like, I've had death threats. Like, I've had people tell me like, well, I got Smith and Wesson in my car. Like, you know, cause I used to be a casino dealer. Like, that's just it. Like, it's shitty. That's kind of the culture.
How long have you been doing it full time?
I don't know.
So I think, yeah, you joined with us probably about 2 months ago, I want to say. And and I know that it's been, I mean, I see you in the office, I see the struggles that you're having, but I want you to know, like, the things that you're doing are amazing. And though is a tough rejection, you know, I've never been the person that was, hey, I'm going to go and stand at a booth and talk to a bunch of people that I don't know. I've never been the person that I'm going to go and door knock and hand out snowflakes and meet people, because it's a tough thing to have to swallow the rejection. So just know that you're building yourself up to be, you know, you're going to stick with this, and you're going to start seeing, you know, once the seeds that you've planted, they will start bearing fruit. And I know right now it feels like a struggle. And this is a hard time for a lot of people. Like Shelly said, we're in the holiday season. Like, that's rough in itself, you know, and if we're not doing business, it's just all around rough. But know that I see you working and the things that you're doing, and you're an inspiration. I know right now you haven't saw, the benefit from it yet, but if you continue down that path and you have the strength to have those tough conversations, like it's eventually going to pay off. And I know we talked about it yesterday a little bit, and Danae had mentioned like she does feel not super confident in talking to her database or whatever the reason was. I know a lot of people feel like that, but one thing that I want to let you guys know, like, hey, we, just think of it as not every single person that I'm going to call in my database needs to buy a home. Hardly any of them do. Not every person that I call in my database needs to sell a home. Like, it's very rare that they do. But the reason that I push the database so hard is because I want them to know that when they hear the conversation about real estate, I want them to think about you. And you have to do that work. Like, you have to reach out to them. You need to let them know what you're doing. You need to check in on them. Be a resource. It's not just about us. I know we need income and we need these deals to happen, especially if this is your full-time thing and you have nothing else, no other source of income. Like, I get it. This is a tough time, but just know, like, it's not, once you start coming from contribution the way that most of you or all of you do, you're just planting that seed. And it is a lot easier to have those conversations with people that we know versus people that we don't know, but you will eventually find somebody with the other interactions that you're having that's going to say yes. For every 100 no's that you hear, just take it as, hey, next opportunity. Eventually I'm going to get to that yes. Don't let it discourage you. The other thing I will say is maybe pick a different area. Like, I know for me, I'm not going to go sit in Cherry Creek and try to talk to somebody about selling their $2 million home, because that's not where I'm confident, and half of them probably aren't getting ready to move. I'm going to go and I'm going to pull statistics and see where is a high move ratio. Where is there a ton of renters at? Where am I going to have a higher success rate of getting in front of people that need to buy? And if you get with a title company, like, they can give you that information, like who moves more, what areas move more, and set up there. You probably will have a lot higher success rate, and then you won't feel as discouraged when you're doing that. But still, just know that you're pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, and that's an amazing thing. And it'll come together for you. But just be positive. Try to.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not trying to like scare you guys off or anything. Like, it's good.
No,
It's just, like, just know that it's not going to be easy. And like, I was wondering if we could start like a little, like a support group, or I don't know if anybody does anything like that privately on the side or something, but like, let's get together, because I need some
Jeff
help.
said something to me yesterday that stuck with me too. And he said it's never about real estate too. So maybe not having that script practice or conversation all the time with everyone, maybe just talking about random things. I mean, people are going to know you're within real estate, and they'll like you for you, and they're going to want to go to you when they are ready or when they have questions.
Yeah,
So
thanks, Shelly. That's really great.
Yeah, like, just talk, like, just like we're talking now, it's kind of off of subject or whatever, but just have regular conversations. It doesn't even need to be about real estate.
And I'll be here, like, if you need help or support, like, I'm always here to listen. I understand that this is a hard thing. I mean, I feel like it's been hard too for me as well, but I'm here to listen if you need any support or anyone to like listen to you.
Thanks, guys. I was thinking maybe like a daily like meditation or so. I don't know. Like, I don't do that, but I mean, maybe
do you do like your year, like kind of like how they want us to do like the planning for the year? Like, do you have like a, what is it called? Like a goal board?
Vision board?
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I'm so terrible at planning, and I talked with Eva a little bit yesterday, and she's like, dude, we have this like thing that I write every week. So I think I'm just gonna try like planning like she does on Sundays, and just
Girl,
really,
let's do a Zoom. Let's do a Zoom vision board, because I haven't made mine yet for 2021, and I really like vision boards. And I think that when you have something to look at every day that you're focused on in your goals, and you can kind of just look up at it and kind of put that in your mind. I don't know. I've always found vision boards to be really helpful, and I haven't made mine yet. So if you want to do a Zoom call, I'm down to like make one with you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I think that's great. And that's part of the reason why I think it's important for us all to get together, because we do need support outside of, this and in just having those accountability partners. So if you guys want to plan that, even if it's just the two of you, if you want to set something on the page and more than one person can go, we did a whole 2020 vision board. party last year, so I'm kind of bummed, but I think it's nice that you said that because you can do it over Zoom and just have that encouragement and that interaction. So thank you for that, and I appreciate it. Danny, I know you said something recently. Do you want to share with the group that you posted it, or it kind of said something about what Shelley mentioned, like it's not about real estate or something that we have to do within our clients' lives in order
Yeah.
to be one that they think of.
Yeah, the biggest aha or the golden nugget that I took from the last bowl that I took, it says you have to be present in people's life before the need of real estate presents itself. And that has proven to me to be very, very, very true. It's very hard to convince somebody cold calling, but it can happen. I've done it. It takes a lot of no's. This right here is called my things to remember when cold calling, if they're rude. Okay, first, you don't know them and you'll never see them. Are you going to let their rude comment keep you from making your money? You can only deny yourself success. Someone out there is actually waiting for you to help them. See, those are the little things that you have to feed yourself. And you have to remember that the goal isn't, you're not going to come back, oh yeah, sure, right now, let's put the for sale sign tomorrow. That is a 1 in a million. But it happens. But then you call them the following week. Hey, Jack, I just wanted to see how everything was going. Good. You build that rapport with them. I've had for sale by owners give me a call and say, hey, come sell my house, because I had stayed in touch with them over a period of time. Okay, that's how it is. And you have to develop some thick skin, but I guarantee you won't remember their name tomorrow. You will not know if you're next to them in the grocery store. They don't know you, you don't know them. And if you're gonna let them deny you your success, it's gonna be a very short-lived career, because you're trying to help the masses, not just one person, okay? So keep that in mind. And trust me, there are people out there that they need the help. They really do, especially during these times. The Cherry Creek neighborhood, it is a very competitive neighborhood. Not saying that you can't do it, you absolutely can. But those people are used to being bombarded. And those people are very experienced with real estate. They know the ins and outs. Why? Because they have most of their money in real estate. So they're very savvy people. Not saying that you don't have the skills, it's just that you need to really come up with your rebuttals on how to talk to those people. And it's okay, and it's a work in progress. Some people graduate into that market, and that's okay. So I just overall keep in mind that you have to be present in people's lives before the need of real estate presents itself. Okay.
You know, one thing that I'm pretty positive that Art won't, he would let me share with you guys is that when he started out in real estate, I think it took him like 7 to 8 months or something before he got a listing. And that was before social media and everything, And for those of you who don't know, that's my uncle. And I remember my grandma was talking to me about it, saying, I always thought, maybe like you do something else, but he showed up every day. He did what he was supposed to do. And look at him now, So that's always kind of something that I keep in the back of my mind when I feel like, where I kind of doubt myself or doubt anything. So I thought I'd share with you guys.
Also, one quick thing that actually my tax person, she is also a realtor. She has a real estate license because she buys real estate, so she benefits from the purchase. And when we were doing my tax, I was like, oh man, I wish this and that. And, we do them quarterly. And she was like, Danny, you're in a freaking pandemic. Don't be so freaking hard on yourself, And this is my second year. And I was like, oh, I had these goals. I had 55,000 pending in March, and all 3 deals fell apart because they got scared. And talk about a punch to the gut. That really, really took the air out of the balloon. So you have to keep yourself going. And then all of a sudden last month, boom, 3. But because you have to keep following up. This is a relationship sport. I come from the corporate world where I was used to seeing money every 2 weeks and seeing an income that superseded my lifestyle. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, you really have to adjust that mindset of saying, what you put into real estate is what you will get out of it. So it's going to take some time. Don't beat yourself up. Don't be so hard on yourself. All you're doing is you're putting in more reps every single day. Okay. So to give yourself a little break, just keep punching that bag.
Yep. And I will say, if you don't have an appointment, if you don't have an agreement, if you don't have an under contract, like there's nothing else that you should be doing than lead generating. Coming to coaching, taking a training, and lead generating, like that's your entire job. You can spend, I would spend 6 to 8 hours a day just what am I going to do today to get an appointment? And I know that feels overwhelming. And I think that's why it's great for us to collaborate like this and just say, what is everybody doing? Who can I call today? Who can I talk to? But I'm going to get an appointment. And you have to know that you need to put that work in. And it is going to take time. And it's going to be, like Danny said, it'll take, it's an emotional thing. Like I've been there. There's been months where I had the same thing. Like we went to Dallas in February before the pandemic happened. I had 3 people under contract. Like that was, I was the same. Like I've built my business now where I can, it's not all about me, but to have 3 deals fall apart in 1 month, and that's like my bill money, that's my everything. Like I had my business set up. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm good. I have my 3 deals coming. Everything's always been consistent. I've never had them terminate like that. And they all terminated. I was in tears. I was the same way. This is my income, but I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to stop. Who am I going to help? What else do I need to do? And it did take me 3 months to probably get back to where I needed it to be for my goals for that year. But just know, like, this is not an easy industry, and I want to keep saying to you, you're not a real estate agent, you're a business owner, and we have to take responsibility also for what we're doing, what our daily activities are. Like, how many hours are you consistently lead genning today? And just know, like, set that. If you didn't do it today, then you're going to double that tomorrow. But your goal should be this week, I'm setting an appointment, whether it's a cold call, whether it's a nurture, whether it's, me calling every single person that I know, set that appointment. And eventually you'll get to the point where you're going to start seeing all of the results from the work that you put in. So know that we're here for you. We didn't get to really talk about the training and stuff that you all want to see. So what I'd like to do, maybe we can set up a post on the Facebook group and see, just kind of put in there some of the things that you'd want to do in the next, for January. That way we can make sure that it's on the schedule, and it gives me some time to make sure we're planning, whether it's CMAs, inspections, titles, lead gen, some of your favorite things. We'll do a post and just kind of give us ideas of what you'd like to see in the next couple of weeks. Anything else, or anyone want to share anything before we log off? Any feedback or things that you wanted to discuss?
Yeah, sorry, Eva. The whole point of my SAB story. Sorry, everybody. Was I just I think like a support group, because this gets hard, and I know I'm not the only one. Like 90% of agents quit by by the time where I'm at right now, and I'm seeing why. So just don't quit. I guess, I don't know. So that's why I'm thinking, I think with the coaching, I think that it would really be beneficial to have like a spirit raising thing, like I don't know, Bold was really great for me in that sense, but I don't, if it's just going to be a thing, maybe it could be just like a 30-minute meeting, like once a week or something like that, and I'm not really sure, that's what I would like to see. That's all.
Yep. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sorry. I think for me personally, I like the idea of, based off of like lead gen and stuff like that, kind of diving more into that, because as a new agent, I'm kind of just like, okay, where do I start? So I think that's kind of something that I personally would benefit from, and I'm sure other people would.
Kind of on that note, I just want to remind everyone again, Dulce and I host these happy hours at the end of every week. And I mean, not many people show up. They'll say, oh, I'll come next week. I'll come next week. We do talk about real estate, but we talk about everything else. We're happy to answer any questions you have. We're not coaches, but we just want to help each other. So we will have it tomorrow. It'll be the last one of the year. Then hopefully we'll get more participation. We can continue into the new year as well. So I hope to see you guys there tomorrow.
Thank you. And I always want to go, but Friday are my one-on-one. So I always have an appointment at 3. So maybe we'll see if I like it though. I don't have to be there. I think it's great that I wanted to peek in a couple times, but I'm always on an appointment at 3 o'clock with somebody from the group. But thank you so much for hosting that. You and Dulce do an amazing job at that. And I think it's better maybe if I don't go, because then that way you all can get together and you have those conversations amongst each other and just be a support. So thank you so much for putting that together. So you guys all heard it. Tomorrow's the last one of the year, 3 p.m. I know, Krishna, you always share the link on the page. Look out for that if you can just get together and talk, collaborate amongst each other. Thank you for hosting that. Another thing we joked about, I did want to mention, Chris and I were joking yesterday, and we said that we were going to do a post on the group called "Where's that Zoom link?" because every class, every training, every meeting, like I get probably 50 calls or texts or emails. Where do I find that link? So we're going to put a post, and if we have a class, I want to ask each of you, if you know where that link is, post it on there, whatever training we're doing, and then we're going to have that post all the time, and you can go there and hopefully find all the links in one spot. And I will say, I know it's hard because we have, whether it's me hosting, Jeff hosting, Justin, a team meeting, Ari Colorado, like it's just way too hard to keep up with everyone's links. And I know that. So I just go and do a search every week because, now I have this consistent link, but prior to that, we didn't know what the link would be, or just a number of different reasons. So if we thought, it was a little joke, but I think it could be helpful. Like some people log on to these things 15 minutes early. I'm not that person, but people do. If you have the link, put it in our post and we know where to go for the day. All right. Thank you guys for joining me. Get off of here, go do your care calls, look at the calendar, do your assignments, and we'll put together a good schedule for you next week. We won't see you on these calls, but we'll still put some stuff together. And if you need anything, feel free to reach out. Bye.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks, Eva.
Bye. Thank you.